Hi, so I'm doing a 2-in-1 right now. I'm doing Rings versus Resident Evil Final Chapter. So, I'll start with the one that I watched first. I watched Rings first. Basically, you'd watch this video and it was kind of a creepy video, and 7 days later you'd die. That this girl would come out and would kill you somehow, and you get a really messed up face. And so in this film, there's a girl and her boyfriend goes off to uni, and one of the professors, he watches this video and then he basically tries passing it on to loads of his students so that they're all passing it off on each other, and eventually this girl's boyfriend gets caught into it and she goes over to figure out what's happening to him, gets all caught up in it, and she decides to do a really nice thing and sacrifice herself so that she would take on this burden and figure it out. But then she starts getting visions, and it sees a little bit different of a video than what the others see, and it has all these visions, so it's kind of leading her on to figure out maybe a way that she can get away with this, she's hoping, and different things like this. So that's basically what the idea is. She's following these visions to see where it takes her, basically, and to try and help this girl in the ring. I was kind of excited. I do like a good horror movie, but it was a big letdown, this film. I really didn't like it. The film was very predictable with where it was going, what was going to happen, and you could kind of tell the main majority of what was going to happen, so it was a little bit let down in that way. And I was confused because when you watch the video that they do, it looks quite old, but they're making it out that it was only 30 years ago that all this happened, and even less once you figure out some other stuff, so that it'd only be maybe 20 odd years ago, and it doesn't make sense to me, because I took it that this video was done ages ago, but maybe I just got the wrong idea on it all. But that kind of threw me off a little. It just wasn't scary. I really was not scared at this film. I did jump a few times, but that was, let's not get confused with jumping with scariness, because I jump at stupid things where it was quiet, you weren't expecting anything, and then he opened an umbrella, and that made me jump because it was just loud. So there was just nothing scary to it. It was really such a letdown. And it wasn't even gory. With the other films, they'd see lots of different things and they'd have visions and they'd see all this messed up stuff. But in this one, because of her visions and what it was leading her on to, there wasn't really any of this gore that there was in the previous films. And it was just a bit of a letdown, really. There were some good actors in it. It had Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory, who was the professor of the university. But he wasn't that impressive, really. There was nothing too special about him from the film. It was a bit of a letdown. The only good thing that I kind of did like about this film was seeing Vincent D'Onofrio. I've been practicing that, hopefully I've said it right, D'Onofrio, who was in the Daredevil TV show. I loved that TV show and he was amazing in it. And just seeing him just got me excited. It makes me want the new season to come out. And he was probably the best part of it, and he wasn't really that great in it either. So it was just very not that great, in all honesty, and I wouldn't recommend it to you. In fact, come Friday at my cinema, there's only one showing of it, so if you're not going to go watch it this week, you're probably not really going to get much of a chance to watch it. For me, I didn't like it. I'm going to give it a maximum of 2 stars, but I'd be even tempted to go down to a 1 because it was just not that good. So now we're talking Resident Evil, the final chapter, apparently. I'm not sure if it will be, but hopefully it will. Because I've not really enjoyed the previous films. I've started off quite liking it. I didn't mind the first one, maybe in the second, I can't really remember. But then it got really bad and I just didn't like the films. And I thought they just went on too much. The acting wasn't great, it was just stupid. But I thought you know what, they might be tying it off, and the advert made this one actually look pretty good. So I was quite excited for this film. So in this film, Alice, from all the previous films, she needs to go back to where it all began, to Raccoon City, to the hive, where she's been told that there is a cure to wipe out this virus. So it would be a good way to end the series and just leave it there. So this film, like the others, it is quite cheesy. It's not got the best acting, and it's very predictable. I mean, if you watch it right from the beginning, they explain some stuff about how it was created and all these different things. You kind of see where it's going, and you can kind of put two and two together, and it was very predictable. But we're not going to have our minds blown to watch this. We're expecting it to be cheesy. We're not expecting great acting. We're just expecting a lot of action. And it did deliver on this. And I'll talk to you more about that. The biggest complaint that I had actually about the film was the camera and how choppy it was. It's even more choppy than my videos. They just cut from angle to angle, and when they were doing a fight scene, and it was so hard to see and concentrate, and it just really just annoyed me. And it was like when you see a big war and they're just in so tight that you just cannot see anything, and it's just flashing everywhere, and that's what it was like. It was so choppy, and that was the biggest downfall. The acting wasn't particularly great, but we still have Mila Jovovich, hopefully I said that right as well. She's good. She's good at fighting, and she's good at doing fighting scenes. Acting wasn't the best. I don't mind her as an actress, but I don't know, she's not the best in this, but she's good at fighting, and that's what we're there to watch, really. And also there's Ian Glenn, who is from Game of Thrones, and he isn't amazing, but he is quite good in the film. He does add a nice side to it. Not nice because he's a baddie, but I mean good side. And it's quite nice because it brings feelings of Game of Thrones, even though I like it, but I don't like it. But yeah, I'm kind of committed to Game of Thrones now. So as I was saying, the fighting was actually what sold it to me for this film, and what made me really excited from the adverts, because it just looked really good. It kind of reminds me of John Wick 2 that's coming out soon, where the fighting just looks incredible, and it was really good in this film. Mila Jovovich does some really good fight scenes, and it was quite impressive, and it was worth watching just for that. Well, maybe I should start at the beginning. I actually started watching this film, and I wasn't very impressed, because there's a scene with this big kind of dragon sort of fly thing, and it just seemed pointless. It just wasn't very impressive. It was a bit of a rubbish fight scene, and I was a bit like, oh, it's not going to be like this again. It's just going to be rubbish. But it actually wasn't. It was more against just normal zombies and things like that. So it was pretty decent after the initial letdown. But the rest of it was actually pretty good, and there were some really good scenes and some really good fighting. It kind of reminded me of Mad Max at some times, with the kind of desert sort of feel. And they had this big they had these tanks, and they'd get these people and they'd put them on a chain and they'd drag them behind, and they'd have this horde of like zombies, and they'd be chasing this person, and on one bit Alice is tied up and she does this fight scene, which is pretty cool. So that I really liked that, and it was nice to go back to the hive. I quite liked the first one, and it was a good idea. I think they underplayed it a little. I think they could have done more in there, made it a bit more creepy, which they didn't, which I feel, again, a little bit of a letdown, but it wasn't bad. It was actually quite good. I did kind of enjoy it. I didn't mind the film. And if I had to pick out of these two, I'd hands down say Resident Evil. I am quite a fan of Resident Evil, I guess. I'd like to play in the games, and it was a nice way to end it, if it is actually ending, which I hope so, because I think sometimes I just need to learn when to end things, and hopefully they've done a nice ending to it. But like The Ring, I've looked at what's on Friday. This only has one showing, and it's an early showing, so unless you're going to watch it this week, you're probably not going to see it either. It was alright. I'd probably give this a good 3 out of 5. as I said, I did enjoy it. It was enjoyable, worth a watch if you like this sort of stuff, and I probably wouldn't watch The Ring. Thanks for watching.